began in 1918 with the armistice that ended World War I. A jubilant, victorious nation went on a binge of excitement and took more than a decade to quiet down. Vanished like the Kaiser were many of the taboos and inhibitions of the years before the war. Americans were entering a new era, the era of anything goes. These were the days of flappers and sheiks, of bootleggers and bathtub gin, of homemade racing cars and chicken wire airplanes. And these were the days of the daredevil. When homecoming doughboys in New York Harbor waved at the Statue of Liberty, she waved back, for Miss Liberty was spotted with stuntmen. Hundreds of feet up, she provided a ringside seat for an Army's return. And in this period of wonderful nonsense, it all seemed perfectly natural. Across the continent, the classic dome of San Francisco's Palace of Fine Arts was turned into a speedway, and an enterprising cameraman got these pictures of a pair of bicyclists whose first wrong turn would undoubtedly be their last. The tall buildings of the time were perching places not only for pigeons, but for human flies who specialized in hanging from ledges and doing headstands on windowsills. Some of the daredevils were so anxious to start climbing, they couldn't even wait until a building was completed. Al Ritchie cavorts on the framework 18 stories up. Notice how the people below go placidly about their business. You are apt to pass 2 or 3 human flies just on the way to work. On a steel girder, Bill Baldwin outhangs the baboons with just 300 feet between the soles of his shoes and the hard sidewalk. This must be a wonderful way to stay young. Who ever heard of a stuntman growing old? Swinging Sig Smith gets a fine view of New York City skyline as he duels with gravity. From the bottom rung of this ladder, it's a big step down. Human flies? They're everywhere. 21 stories above Broadway, Daredevil Reynolds decides that although he's on a diet, it would be highly inadvisable to leave the table. One slip, and think of what would happen to all that furniture. Rudy Camino gets into the act, and all too quickly out of it. Well, Rudy, fancy meeting you again. In these daredevil days of emancipated womanhood, lady human flies were almost as common as male. This contemporary of Pearl White dangles over eternity without hardly ruffling a hair. During the First World War, women had replaced men, even in such hazardous occupations as painting smokestacks. And after the armistice, they kept right on the job. There's nothing so surprising about this scene. Back in this period, everybody was doing the Charleston. These were the days, too, of super strong men like Sailor White, whose teeth could pull 4 cars. And that famed horse fancier, Warren Travis, who thought nothing of a tug-of-war with 6 draft horses, 3 on each side, in this original version of the two-way stretch. Bumps the daisy. Here's the secret of Warren's strength: lady fingers and ice cream. Al Ritchie uses a steel bar to go on a bender. While the men in the audience marvel at Ritchie's strength, the ladies can enjoy the fashion show. Al feels fine now, but wait until he tries straightening up. Now, where's he going? Oh, only about 2,000 feet up in the air. The camera pointed straight down at balloonist Ed Unger gives a good impression of what it feels like to be an aerial stuntman. Thank goodness here's a policeman to stop all this nonsense. Los Angeles officer Voy K. Apt would stop it all right, except he suddenly remembered he forgot his Saturday night bath. Voy cuts a dashing figure in his latest model bathing suit. After a busy day pinching speeders and Model Ts, a cop deserves a little relaxation. and boy has plenty of privacy in his floating bathtub. My, wouldn't it be embarrassing if he fell out? Well, boy, I hope you didn't neglect to wash behind the ears. The airplane was less than 20 years old, but the barnstormers had it doing everything. Roman Warren liked to swoop under bridges. This arch is only 19 feet high. Augie Peddler demonstrates astounding aerial precision by dangling by his knees just 8 feet above the speeding ground to grab a cap. Aerial stuntmen were a smashing success. All was well when the pilot could crawl out of the ruins to take a bow. It was a restless era, and everybody who was someplace wanted to be somewhere else. If a stuntman was on one plane, it seemed he wanted to be on another. When he finally got on the right plane, he wanted to be in a car. And when he was on a train, he wanted to be on a plane. Now, wasn't that a silly time to get off the train? On second thought, maybe it wasn't so silly. This hook's for Al Johnson, who's going to take the blindfold test. Al can't see a thing as he rides a pitching airplane and gropes with hobbled feet. The hook's got him, and Johnson's left hanging head down after the most dangerous plane-to-plane transfer of them all. Joe Campy seems perfectly at home in a straitjacket as he makes like he's a human bomb. Stuffed in a wooden pipe, he goes 4,000 feet up. The pipe tips, and Campy, bound hand and foot, begins dropping out head first with a parachute attached to his feet. All he has to do is remove the straitjacket and right himself before the earth rushes up to meet him. A simple mouthpiece of hard rubber is the only support of stuntman Jack Shaw. Hanging from a swaying rope ladder, Jack clutches onto life by his teeth alone. Suppose he got cold and his teeth began to chatter. Chief White Eagle claims he has the strongest hair in the world, and he prepares to prove it the hard way. This is the hard way. Among the barnstormers, only sissies wore parachutes. In White Eagle's hair-raising stunt, falling hair would mean falling Indian. Gladys Roy daintily powders up like any other flapper before going on a joyride. It's an aerial joyride atop a looping airplane with only a few thin wires for support. When the spinning earth appears above, Gladys is dangling in space, head down. Gladys is down. She's up. She's down. This will muss her makeup. The old-time cameraman had to be as daring as the daredevils. This one strapped down for a trip aloft to get pictures from a diving airplane of the Earth spinning like a top. One of the passengers goes below to the observation deck for fresh air and a better view, while the pilot, like a buggy driver dropping the reins, gives the plane its head. Though the barnstormer was riding high, he was to become a vanishing American. At fairs and carnivals, his breed still remains, yet his era of glory is in the past. His daring, reckless spirit belongs to that period which began with the war's end and ended with the Depression's beginning. His was the time of low-powered planes and high-powered stuntmen, of the tin flask on the hip and the tin Lizzie in the garage, of rolled stockings, marathon dancing, crystal sets, mahjong, miniature golf, and the noble experiment. Some of us old now were then young, and some of us hadn't yet been born. But to those who remember, the world was a carefree, mad, whirling, twirling, topsy-turvy place back in the daredevil days.